scarcity by design. The U.S. housing crisis is not an accident of markets or a temporary imbalance between supply and demand. It is the product of a market architecture, of policy, finance, and culture, built over decades to reward scarcity, protect incumbents, and convert a basic human need into an investment strategy. The affordability collapse we live with today was not discovered, it was designed. The modern shortage intensified in the early 2000s, when lenders inflated home prices through subprime loans, adjustable-rate mortgages, and securitized debt. When the bubble burst, millions lost homes and savings, but the underlying logic survived. Residential construction collapsed, yet housing continued to be treated primarily as an investment vehicle. After the dust settled, the speculative frameworks that drove the Great Recession simply reappeared. As normal practice, the crisis didn't end. It hardened. A system that could profit through a collapse of its own making was never neutral. It was engineered to extract value whether families rose or fell. That financial logic is reinforced by a second architecture, zoning and land use rules that restrict supply. Many of these policies were originally designed to segregate by race and class, and their modern forms, minimum lot sizes, bans on multifamily homes in residential zones, excessive parking mandates, discretionary approvals, still function largely the same way. Even as millions of homes are needed, cities remain governed by rules that make building slow, expensive, and uncertain. These systems preserve wealth by limiting access. Cultural fear cements the structure. NIMBY opposition frames new housing as a threat to character or safety, but in practice it protects property values and maintains exclusion. Public hearings and appeals weaponize delay, inflating costs, adding risk, and killing projects outright. Delay becomes a political tactic. Each additional month increases land value for current owners and pushes future residents further out of reach. Bureaucratic inertia, slow permitting, repetitive reviews, escalating fees, adds another layer, rewarding large investors who can afford to wait while pushing out smaller builders, non-profits, and community groups. The result is an operating system that resembles the last few turns of a game of Monopoly, centralized, extraction-driven, and hostile to participation. Power concentrates. Friction protects legacy revenue streams. The system treats participation not as a contribution but as a threat. Scarcity isn't a glitch, it's the business model. The US housing system, the market, or whatever you wish to call it, has been failing to meet demand for decades. Regardless of intent, failing to correct the issue is a decision in itself. And the human consequences are severe. More than half of renters in major cities pay over 30% of their income on housing. Millions pay 50% or more. These burdens fall hardest on Black and Hispanic households, widening racial wealth gaps that were never accidental. Housing instability ripples outward, health declines, education suffers, savings evaporate, crime rises, and communities fracture. None of this is incidental. It is the predictable outcome of a system that rewards extraction and penalizes the very people it claims to serve. The scale is staggering. The U.S. now faces a housing deficit exceeding 4.7 million homes, concentrated in regions where restrictive zoning and high-friction permitting intersect. Generations are being priced out entirely. 3 in 10 Gen Z adults have given up on ever owning a home, and millennials control only 4.2% of national wealth, 4 times poorer than baby boomers were at the same age. These are not numbers, they are afflicted lives. They are the quiet casualties of a housing system that has decided whose future is worth protecting and whose isn't. Across every layer, policy, capital, culture, the pattern is clear. Scarcity is the product of structures that prioritize profit over people. It feels permanent, only because its machinery is old and well defended. But permanence is an illusion. Anything built can be dismantled.